Okay, energy sector analyst Roger Lilley is joining us now here on Morning News today. Morning, Roger. Thank you very much for coming through. Yeah, we're looking ahead at what's going to come up, but some reports already at the weekend. I just want to start there and get your perspective about Eskom expecting to confirm a 30 billion rand in irregular expenditure.
Yes, the power utility recently received a qualified audit from its auditors, which indicate that there is 30 billion rand of irregular expenditure, which basically means that the auditors are unable to track this expenditure and therefore call it irregular.
Could it be related to the allegations of the state capture by the Guptas?
Well, that's anybody's question. Until this is clarified, it's very difficult to say exactly where that money's gone. It may turn out to be in legitimate expenditure, but we just don't know, and the auditors don't know.
Yeah. Could there be more clarity as well? Should we expect rather more clarity maybe, or some light being shed on those coal contracts that have been bedeviling the power utility for some time?
Indeed. I'm hoping that today's announcement will cover a lot of that ground. I believe because what happens, you see, at these Eskom announcements is the announcement presentation is made very formally, and then the floor is open to questions, and the questions usually come thick and fast. And I'm confident that a lot of embarrassing questions, or could be embarrassing questions, will be posed.
What about the IPPs? Independent power producers. Several agreements were signed a few months ago by the energy minister.
Yes, 27 of them. And we're really hoping that will start moving forward quickly, because Eskom really needs to close some of its expensive and dirty coal-fired power stations that are very old, have been scheduled for closure, but they've been rejuvenated, but they are still killing something like 2,200 people every year in the area where they are based.
During the current negotiations for wage increases by the three unions, National Union of Mine Workers, National Union of Metal Workers, NUMSA, and Solidarity, there's been an issue about where can you save, where can you get the money from. Government very clear, they are not going to give Eskom any money. Issues of overstaffing has sort of come up. Yes. Unions saying we're not going to take retrenchments lying lightly. What about your top level? You've got so many senior managements who are earning all these big salaries. Yes. We want our money and we want our bonuses.
Yes. Yes. Eskom is really in a very difficult position, because we expect today to hear that whatever profit they made, the utility probably will come out at maybe even announce a loss today. You know, the power utility operates in two halves of the year. They have the first half of the year, which starts in September and ends in March. Covers the warmer period when electricity is in less demand and tariffs are lower. So revenue is decreased, but costs go up because they often use that time to do maintenance. And so that's the period of time that we expect to be reported on today. And we expect that there's going to be a loss reflected. Now, if that is so, you can imagine how in focus this 30 billion rand of irregular expenditure comes into focus, because that could have been used now for increasing salaries or offsetting debt. You know, the power utility has something like 350 billion rand of debt. Now, that's a business that generates something like 200 billion rand in revenue every year, not profit, revenue, and it's got such a high debt.
So could we expect, very briefly as we conclude, Roger, that they will up the ante as Eskom to recover money, owed monies from municipalities that are not paying up? Number two, could they be going to the National Energy Regulator in the next few months as NERSA, asking for more tariff increases over the next 2 years?
I believe that they will do that. Whether NERSA will agree or not, I'm not sure, because NERSA is very keen to find out about this 30 billion rand. Why should the public pay extra if there's 30 billion rand being spent? You know, that's 15% of their revenue being spent irregularly. That shows very poor management. Yeah. But we are confident. You know, the utility has a new board under Jabu Mabuza, who's a seasoned businessman, And I'm confident, and I think the industry is confident that he will turn the utility around, but it's going to take time.
Yeah, and there's also been some good things said about Phakamile Hadebe, the new CEO,
Correct.
that he's a tough business guy.
He is.
So let's see what's
He's
going
a
to
knowledgeable, good, solid
Well,
man.
we'll wait for the numbers, and there'll be more post-results analysis
Indeed.
tomorrow. Thank you very much, Roger, for coming in. That's Roger Lilley, energy analyst, just sharing some of his insights and thoughts ahead of the release of Eskom's annual financial results later today.